Good afternoon, everyone. It's America's Partners. It's thank you for attending this session. Thank you for attending Ignite, first of all. Is there any excitement about the 70 announcements we made this morning? Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I'm pretty sure none of, I don't even think the Microsoft people in the room have totally internalized them all. But hey, Agents 365, I heard a lot of good feedback immediately about that. Copilot business, so I will not go through every 70 in the next 45 minutes. Hey, so first of all, my name is Erwin Visser. For the people I haven't met yet, I run the partner marketing and strategy for Americas, for SMEC. This is what we like to do in the next 45 minutes is give you a bit of a 360 about best practices, ideas, maybe insights, how to leverage Microsoft resources, how to work with Microsoft sales leaders, how to co-sell, how to leverage our go-to-market materials. So we have a lot of content for you prepared. It's kind of the agenda. We'll have first Harp on stage, talk more about the SMEC opportunity, the commitment from him and our larger organizations to you as partners. Then we'll dive into the go-to-market, and we have a fireside chat with 3 partners from different sides of Americas to really give their perspectives on how they leverage different resources we enable. And last but not least, we're going to close it with the segment and sales perspective around 2 segment leaders, Jose, leader of the SMB team, or the SMB organization, and Alistair, SMCC West, to what does it mean for them to work with partners, what are they looking for, and what are best practices for co-sell. So again, it's a lot to go through, so I'm just going to hand it over now to Harp and give him the opportunity to dive in. Harp.
Pretty cool to see everyone here, and yes, Erwin, we're not going to go through all 70 of those announcements, but there are some pretty material things. I know myself, many of the sales leaders in the room had a sneak peek at that, some of those last week, and I can tell you just the pause and step away for a couple of days to realize the scale and the magnitude and the pace of the innovation that we're bringing to bear. On one side is just super exciting. On the other side, incredibly daunting. And I know all of you share, in many ways, some of those 2 emotions as you look to go help your collective customers and sometimes your partners navigate this incredible moment in time. I sit between you all and some incredible thought leaders from our ecosystem, senior leaders from our SME&C organization here today. And so my overall objective of these first 10 minutes is to provide you with a little bit of context. A little bit of context of what does it mean to partner with SME&C from our lens. And hopefully you all could tell us whether we're living to the bill. Our aspirations are sincere, our commitment is strong, and we're incredibly confident about what we could do together. This is the moment. This is a moment in many of our careers. We've been through a couple of these over the last couple of decades. But I know talking to many of you as leaders and executives in the room and your teams are feeling it. We are going through a general purpose technology shift and transformation, not too dissimilar than what we'd have seen with electricity or the internet. Generative AI is really that platform for which we all can go and serve our collective customer aspirations and human ambitions to a different altitude. At Microsoft, we often talk about this thing called the red thread. And the red thread is really about how we bring the power of the Microsoft Cloud Platform, built and around your incredible value offerings, services, IP, in service of our collective customers. The intelligence layer you saw today around Fabric IQ, Work IQ, and Foundry IQ is just one example of how that red thread starts to unlock context. I love how Asha said frames like, the models don't know your margins. The tools don't know your customers. AI and generative AI is really at the power and the platform to be able to serve and unlock our collective aspirations under human ambition. It unlocks incredible market potential. You've seen a variety of TAM opportunities. And Satya often talks about the addressable market we all will go after in IT services growing by more than 50% on the back of this incredibly transformative moment. And here in SME&C, we have this incredibly strong powerhouse. Jose will come on stage as our Americas leader and share with you some insights and perspective. But in the Americas, we have 29 million SMBs, many of which are accelerating their platform adoption. And as you've seen, this moment to democratize technology and put it in the hands of even the smallest of businesses is really a unique moment in history. To be able to drive, as Ralph mentioned, 90% of the world's companies, 50+% of the world's GDP is really sitting over here. In the Americas, although we represent 19% of the SMB organizations on the planet, it represents 40% of the TAM, often talking about the size and scale and opportunity. And that sits and represents across the space. SMBs are not just watching the AI wave, they are riding it. They're looking to continue to invest, asking for their MSPs and partners to inspire the art of the possible while democratizing it in their environment, for their industry and their solutions. And by 2027, they've said that they will, 50% plus will go and reshape business IT budgets and how they go and bring this to life at scale. This consistently lands itself in how we think of the success framework here at Microsoft. You've seen many of our leaders, often the most telegraphed slide here at Microsoft, but we think about this shaping the way in which we bring these solutions to life for our collective customers, whether it's enriching employee experiences, reinventing customer engagement, reshaping business processes, or bending the curve on innovation. And you saw example, not only from us as Microsoft Customer Zero, but our incredible partners doing great work with customers of all shapes and sizes in the industry. This, alongside our cloud solution areas, are really the combination for how we see this come to life. So our opportunity is immense. We all are here today ideally inspired by the art of the possible. So what does that mean in here, in the Americas, as we think about SME&C and the channel at the heart of what we do? And for those of you that got a chance to see our fearless leader, Ralph, on stage, talk about this one slide, I wanted to pause with our Americas partners and give a little coloring context between what we all think of as the growth code in SME&C. Just by a show of hands, how many know what SME&C stands for? Good, that's pretty good. The customer segment are small, medium enterprises. It is 90% of the world's organizations. It represents an incredible aspiration for the company. We cannot live to our mission of empowering every organization and person on the planet to achieve more without centrally thinking about and platforming this customer audience. You'll hear in a second some of our most senior leaders talk to you about what they're seeing of how our customers are transforming alongside each of you in the room. But about 6 months ago, or 9 months ago, we changed the name to SME&C because it represented the role of the channel, the role of our partner ecosystem as a central point of our strategy of how we serve this collective audience. It is a small but very, very material statement from our leaders at Microsoft. Hopefully you see it in our decisions, in how we go to market with you, in how we co-sell with you, in how we invest in you, with you. And I can tell you, as someone who's been around Microsoft for 25 years, this is the moment for SME and the channel to unlock the art of the possible. Ralph talks about being at Microsoft and having the word code and how we think about unlocking our moment in time and our collective responsibility. It starts with our end-to-end solutions. Those 70 announcements sit in the frame of our 3 cloud solution areas for which we unified just 4 months ago. Seems like ages, but the simplification of thinking about how we bring AI business solutions to life for our customers, aspiring the cloud and AI platform of the future, all while underpinning it with immense capabilities of security posture, is the end-to-end solutions of Microsoft. We have simplified and unified our engineering organizations, our go-to-market teams, our sales teams, to start to think about how we bring this to life with each of you in the room. At the center of our go-to-market in SMC is you, is our channel. And the platform for which we have all unified around our future is CSP. We talk about it in 4 frames. 1, how we sell together, how we then transact together, how we realize customer value together, all in the spirit of taking a journey with our customers through the entire life cycle of their cloud and now frontier transformation. It is the channel that is the center of our strategy of scaling to serve the collective SME audience here in the Americas. And that at Microsoft is building off of a foundation that is trusted and secure. We are living in unprecedented times, and Microsoft has foundationally invested in 2 key initiatives in our company. 1, you see our fearless leader, Scott Guthrie, who runs our Azure scale business, share with you all not just the responsibility we have to build AI super factories in Fairwater, but also our sustainability agenda and the ability to go and drive quality and scale, while building security in everything we do. Our customers are relying on us more than ever, and each of us need to rely upon this platform to serve our collective aspirations. So about 4 months ago, we came together as one global team at Microsoft. And our spirit was one team, built to scale, driven to win. Why do I share this mantra with you all in the room? We see each of you as an extension of us. And hopefully you feel the same to Microsoft. We have unified goals. We experience challenges together, but yet have similar aspirations to unlock the potential of all of our collective customers. We did 2 significant things that I want to share with you all before I invite Erwin back on stage in Channels Americas. And that was, first, unify ourselves around you, our partners. So this talks about the variety of roles that wake up at Microsoft, investing in you and our partnership together. This is the power of the pod. And whether it's a partner development executive that thinks about you at the center of how we go to market, it's incredibly aligned specialist sellers that are pinned to partners that help us co-sell to the breadth of our audiences, or incredible marketing and strategists that allow for unified go-to-market, on top of technologists, architects, by solution area, by subspecialty, or customer success team members, all mobilized with a common skilling index built off of our cloud program with a set of principles. We come together as Americas to serve you in service of our customers. This is a fundamental shift of how we've ever organized ourselves, because we put the partner at the center. And so I look forward to hearing from each of you over the coming weeks and months of how you feel and how this is manifesting itself in your sales floors every day. There's a basic theme. This is a people business. We are building things together. And on the right-hand side are really those aspirations and the responsibility, frankly, that Ralph touched upon earlier on our opportunity here in the Americas and our opportunities around the world, 99% of businesses. But on the left-hand side is a little double click, hopefully, to how you feel and may experience the channel's extended organization. We have this thing called our promises. And our promises is really a people-first agenda that thinks about how we collectively build the org that you want to partner with. Each of you in the room have a choice. Have a choice who you wake up and work with every day. And we believe we have a responsibility to earn that right. It starts with us creating a culture where we could be our authentic selves, part of organizations that want to be about inspiring the future. But at the center of it is our partner promise. It is the way in which we think about building partnerships inside and outside of Microsoft, but hopefully that in service of our customers, often done right, builds incredible world-class results. That is how we show up in the Americas and our commitment back to each of you. So with that, I want to call upon Erwin and a handful of our senior partner leaders to share with you a little bit of our best practices and innovations from across the Americas. Erwin, over to you.
Thanks, Harp. That's awesome. Hey, so we're going to shift gears a little bit and now kind of double click on some of the go-to-market investments we made. And again, in 2 minutes or so, I'll ask the partners to come on stage and give their perspective. But there's like 4 things that I quickly want to highlight with this audience. And the first is that if you're not aware, but you hopefully are aware, 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗶cie is really, of the Microsoft AI Cloud Partner Program, is really the foundation for how we work with partners. And so it's kind of the universal program that we kind of built in training, skills, go-to-market, investments, incentives. It is all wrapped in this program. And there's 2 or 3 things I want to make sure I'm going to call out. And one is that it's also the way how we look at partner capability. And so I assume most of you are aware of destinations, specializations. Those are things that we actively use and look at to decide on the capability and the capacity of our partners. And destinations and specializations is for you an opportunity to differentiate yourself in the market and also in your ability to use, say, Microsoft financial investments. The second one here, I want to make a call out for the investments that we made in partner marketing resources in content over the last years. I think one of the points of feedback I got from partners a lot is that our content, our marketing content or our sales content was not always available for all segments. We especially made an investment in the last 2 years on the SMB content, having better SMB value propositions. I'm not saying we're going to be perfect here. We're always learning and improving. But if you haven't checked out our latest marketing content, please go to the website and check. And if you have feedback, please let me know, because we continuously want to learn from your feedback how we can make sure that by segment we have the right value proposition, also by geo, LATAM, Canada, and US. The last thing is that and you may be aware again, but we made a significant decision a few months ago to really remove all gates from our enablement content. So we used to have programs like Level Up, and you needed to have a code to get in. So we removed everything. We have a skilling hub that has all Microsoft enablement content for sellers, for technical, deep technical engineers, all available. People can create their own curriculum to learn. And so again, we want to make sure that we have the tools for your team and for yourself to be successful with all the technology. The second thing I want to call out quickly here is partner investments. And this is not the moment to go deep. This is a topic where we are very passionate about. We are continuously also learning from your feedback. The announcements around Azure Accelerate was probably a way for us to learn from all the feedback you gave us around our complexity with our Azure programs. So the couple of things that I want to share here. And one is that we really have increased this year, also the year before, our investments for CSP and CSP partners. Around 70% year over year, more investments around our CSP program. The reason that that Harp and I and our organization is so passionate about these and like to share it with you, and we had a lot of conversations, is kind of twofold. First, our data shows that partners that leverage our investments programs drive higher growth and more customer acquisition. So partners that use our programs on a constant basis are more successful and grow faster. So that's why we like partners to use these programs more. But the second one also is that, and we don't disclose the full number, but as Microsoft, you can imagine that we spend billions of dollars a year in our partners across the world. It's probably after data centers, the biggest investment we make as Microsoft is probably how we invest in our partners. We like to make sure that our Americas partners get their fair share of that investment. We think that's 90%. The company may think it's slightly less for Americas, but we want to make sure that you, the people in this room, are getting your fair share of those programs and those investments that we put on the table here for you. So the third thing I want to add here, and Harp clearly talked quickly about the organizational changes that we made, and we now have the SMEC organization lined up. One area that, and today was another proof point here, is that we have a next level of agility and focus to make sure that we have the right value proposition for the right segment to enable your business. And if you in the room are active in the SMB space, and I hope a lot of you are, I hope you're excited about Copilot Business, about the security SKUs. And I will not share too much inside baseball here, but the decision-making process around those is faster than I have almost seen in my career at Microsoft, and I have a few years here in this company. So it's had a level of agility to really react on your feedback, customer feedback, and make sure that we have the right value proposition with the right price point to really win in SMB. And again, the Copilot Business, the Defender Suite, the Purview Suite, feedback from customers has been amazing, and hopefully you're also excited about that. So this is kind of my transition slide to the next topic, because I want to hear from a few partners how they kind of leverage the tools that we have to become a frontier. And so I want to ask Brian, Pablo, and Fede to come onto stage, and please welcome them. So we have representation now from LATAM, Canada, and the US. And what I'd like to start with very quickly is if you can quickly introduce yourself. Fede, can I start with you?
Federico Charosky, CEO and founder of Quorum Cyber.
Pablo Rodriguez, pleasure to be here. Client Director for TD SYNNEX Latin America.
Hi, I'm Brian Matthews. I'm the head of services strategy for CDW Canada.
Awesome, great. And by the way, also CDW Canada and TD SYNNEX LATAM, both partners of the year. So amazing accomplishment. Fede, that's kind of your challenge for next year.
Mere finalist.
Yeah, you're close, you're close. So, hey, Brian, I'd like to start with you. I would love, from your perspective and CDW, is like, what do you see with AI and security in the Canadian market, and how, as CDW, are you differentiating yourself?
Yeah, I think when we think about AI and the opportunity and the pace of change and all the announcements, we really center ourselves around the customer journey. And what we do is build a holistic set of services that can help a customer no matter what stage of the journey they're on. So for example, if someone says, I don't even know where to start, right? As much as we're in AI and we're knee deep and we're a million steps ahead, there's still a lot of customers that don't know how to get started. Maybe that requires technical readiness, maybe that requires vision and value. There may be customers further along that need some help with data governance, security. And then once we solve all the technology challenges, it's really about end user adoption, end user skilling. So we've really seen a lot of momentum in end user skilling. I think as we reflect on the technology change and the moment that we're in, it's that's really going to separate the successful frontier firms. How can they inspire their organization and their users to adopt the tools the right way to drive innovation and drive success? And the reason I get so excited about that is, I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. I'm sure there's people in this room that are on LinkedIn. The word growth mindset or the term growth mindset has been thrown out probably by each of us more than once. So if we all agree that we collectively have growth mindset, let's put that to work, right? And let's use that growth mindset to meet the moment that we're in and drive, the innovation that we want to see.
Okay, yeah, thank you. That's great. Hey, so I'm going north to south. So I'm Canada, US, Fede, although you live in Scotland, so maybe. But okay, whatever. So Fede, the security is kind of became an even hotter topic now in the context of AI. Where do you see where customers need the most help on security specifically?
I could have always split the difference in the answer in two different ways. I think historically, if you look back a year ago, data security was the name of the game, right? How do you protect the data and how do you feed the right data and make sure that once it's in a model, you keep that data safe so that it doesn't end up walking out the door? I think since the advent of agentic, it's model behavior. How do we ensure that the models are behaving the way that we expected them to with that data? So I think in the same way that we used to say that identity is the new perimeter, I think model behavior is now the new perimeter. how do we actually put our arms around what are these agents doing and how do they actually move with it? So it was incredibly exciting to see Agent 365's announcement today. I think it's the biggest announcement of the day by far, and the capabilities that it gives us to help customers adopt this safer is ground changing.
Awesome, awesome. So Pablo, going to LATAM. So you as TD SYNNEX has a unique opportunity to look at your partner channel and kind of see which partners are successful in this new world. Like, what would you see? What are kind of like characteristics of those partners that are successful?
When you think about Latin America, you have to think about over 30 countries and language and culture. So it's really need to address those market matures and how can we serve the market. So you create the market and we enable the market. So in a way that partners can go to the market and be more successful is when they use AI in order to drive security solutions and business outcomes. So partners that combine AI or security for AI in industry context and of course, rapid deployments, rapid piloting, and managed service are the one that winning the most.
Okay, and maybe a follow-up question here is like, how important is skilling in your point of view?
Yeah, that's a critical role. And so when you think about SMB partners, Latin America is basically 99% country SMB-driven companies. So when you think about how can we scale up, it's really a challenge in a way that partners need to be trained in order to catch up with technology and the pace of technology and how to help partners in order to get to the end user with some of the business outcome they need. So when you think about enablement, so we put together the Microsoft programs and we teach the partner how to leverage those programs in terms of not just making profit from them, not just learning from a technical perspective, but also combining with our go-to-market strategy that's basically prepared in order to close the gap between adoption and opportunity to project. So I think it's really critical when you think about how can TD SYNNEX can help the partner ecosystem. It's basically closing the gap in technology, closing the gap with real-time scenarios. So we have a proven record that when we pilot some of these solutions with real customer use cases is where the partners gain the most.
Customer use cases, yeah, awesome, yeah. So Brian, back to you. Where do you see as a CDW, like you have the highest leverage of our GTM investment?
Yeah, I mean, the great part about Microsoft is they've got a program and an acronym for everything. And the incredibly difficult part about working with Microsoft is that they've got a program and an acronym for everything.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're a big fan of the programs. We try and leverage them to the fullest extent. We see them as a big differentiator, and we try and integrate them into our go-to-market as much as possible. So in the past where, maybe we had a CDW strategy and then the Microsoft program sat over here, we've really tried to combine those and integrate them. And I think there's really 3 keys that we've had over the last couple of years because we've seen a rapid acceleration in our program adoption. First and foremost, it's about taking the Microsoft program, translating it from Microsoft language into CDW language, packaging it and simplifying it for the digestion of our internal teams and also our customers. So we've seen a lot of success with that. The second is broad enablement internally. So not just our Microsoft dedicated resources, not just our customer success teams. We really look at everyone that could talk to a customer and making sure that they understand how that these programs can fit in. And then internal adoption. Right? So we've rolled out 10,000 Copilot licenses at CDW. We're very proud of that. It's accelerating the way that I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I will never work for an organization that doesn't provide me with Copilot. Like I will go on record. Hopefully I don't get fired anytime soon and have to go find a job. But it's so integrated to what I do. And when I reflect on, I think the opportunity for the partners, it's how do we really help our customers accelerate and how do we help get them unstuck? There are so many steps, whether they're security challenges that Fedi and his team are working on and other groups, but that's where we really need to focus is helping our customers solve those challenges.
Awesome. Yeah, hey, I love, and you kind of gave me a new term at Microsoft that we can introduce, an AFO. Acronym for everything.
There we go.
Yeah, so I'll keep that in mind. Fede, back to you. And it's maybe also kind of starting to transition to the next conversation, but how do you think about co-selling with Microsoft, and what kind of are best practices that you leverage to connect with our sales organization?
Look, I think it might sound a bit romantic, but I mean it when I say it. I think co-selling is the outcome, right? But the how is the magic, and the how is about co-creation. We talked about it before, even at the kickoff. Customers don't want to buy a thing from you. Customers want to achieve something with you. And our job as partners, and partners with Microsoft, and partners with partners, is to create the right journeys for those customers to go in. So I think when we do that well, when we create the right journeys together that leverage the incentives and the programs and everything that we bring together, then we can co-sell. And I know it sounds super cringy, but this is reality, is when you work with the field, when you work with the incentives teams, and you co-create the right journey for your customers. That's when you win.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So, kind of my closing question is like we saw a lot of innovation today, a lot of innovation over the last weeks, and we're kind of all, I think, if you work in IT, you're also a little bit of a personal nerd. So, what is the technology? And you maybe gave it away already, but what were you most excited about?
Agent 365 for sure. I thought that announcement was something else today. So yeah, well done. I think it's a game-changing.
Awesome. Pablo?
Yeah, and I agree. At some point, it's some of the announcements for the SMB market, I think they're great. And of course, leveraging and addressing those needs from that segment, I think is critical. So I'm really excited about all the announcement. So much work to do in order to help and enable the partner ecosystem and get to the customer with the right solution.
That's awesome. Thank you. Pablo, Brian.
You can call me Pablo.
Sorry.
Hey,
Mark.
Me and Fede were talking about Agent 365, but I'll give you a different one. We've been really focused on Fabric of late. So to see Fabric IQ and some of the new announcements around Fabric, that was really exciting for the CDW team.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, Fabric is, I'm passionate myself about Fabric. So great. Hey, please, thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Fede, Pablo, Brian. Appreciate you sharing your best practices here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, hey, let's go to the third part of this session. So I'm asking Harp to come back on stage with Jose and Alistair. Yes, Harp, give it back to you.
Thank you. So I have the wonderful honor and privilege team. One of the biggest feedback we get from our partners is just access, proximity, and perspective from our most senior leaders here at Microsoft. And I love the way you just talked about co-creation at the heart of what we go do. At the end of the day, this is how we go win together. And our job here in this room is to make this big Microsoft acronym machine feel personal and connected. So we go win and inspire customers. And frankly speaking, beside me are two of the best leaders inside of Microsoft that have done it time and time again. And so just really excited to have Jose Gomez, who leads our SMB business for the Americas, and Alistair Butler, who leads our West business. And so maybe I'll dive right in. Guys, you get a chance to be at the heart of Microsoft, territory planning processes, partner solution specialist, account planning, and looking at how we think about the best practices to engage your respective teams. What would you share with our channel partners, the best practices you observed and how we bring that to life? Maybe I'll start with you.
Thank you, Harp. Wonderful to be with you all here today in a packed room as well. I think when we start any year with our partners in the corporate segment, I represent our Western US business, we really do think of the year as almost like a sports season. And we're coming out with the new plays that we have for our sales teams at our start type environment. We're then launching, of course, the new incentives and programs that we have with our partner channel. And I think what we find most effective with our partners is a very quick consumption of those two things. And then we're really down to execution, actually, very, very quickly with customers. And that includes some governance. It includes some monthly touch points and interlock with that. But where you actually really see the acceleration is from those co-sell efforts, where you as the partner with your salespeople are actually interlocking very cleanly with our salespeople on the outcomes that actually that some of the previous speakers were talking about. We need to be intentful with our customers to listen to them at this moment and have a little bit of patience with that and then align on that. And when we're doing that, Harp, we just move so much quicker.
Couldn't agree more. Jose?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for being here for the partnership. In the case of SMB, as most people know, the business is run through you, our partners. There's few exceptions where customer will buy directly on the website, but what I wanted to explain a little bit and give more color is in this role of the partner solution specialist that you saw on the slide when Harp was presenting the pod structure and some of the investments. The PSSs are organized by solution area, or 3 solution areas that we simplified for this year. And their job is to accelerate deals, full stop. That's what we try to do. So what we've seen as best practices is making sure that whether you're working with one of our distributors or directly with Microsoft, that you can engage with your partner solution specialist, understand what are your largest customers, are there renewals, are there opportunities to drive upsell, cross-sell. Most of them will want to talk about security, about embracing AI. It's all about customer outcomes. I agree with what Federico was saying, and having those conversations proactively. They can also help you bring all the investments that Erwin was talking about. Why? Because we've been trying to standardize in a much simpler fashion few programs that work for each of the 3 solution areas. So you should think about these individuals as the way to achieve larger velocity on your capacity to go to market and deliver value to customers.
Awesome. Switching gears a little bit, you both get a chance to talk to hundreds of customers in a given quarter, and maybe Alistair, I'll start with you. AI, automation, the pace of innovation is just absolutely intense. You get a chance to see a wide range of industries. For our partners in the room, any perspective or ideas around co-creation and what you're seeing in the market that will maybe inspire and help us build the right practices that go and serve that need?
Absolutely. We're at such a different moment now, even outside of today, than where we were 9 months ago. The fear sense, or is this truly a major technology transition? Are there real economics behind all of this? I think that's long in our past. I really do. And as I spend time with customers, therefore, I don't think we need to sensationalize it anymore. When I'm talking to customers, I'm spending time with them trying to actually get to specificity on what line of business do you actually want to transform. It's a very difficult thing, actually, to do it right across a whole company all at once, all concurrently, and still, of course, meet the demands that they have for their investors, if they're publicly traded, for their customers. So, if you think about how Microsoft went about that, we started with customer service, and we are still riding a very strong wave on that. Our own sales teams were a fast follower to that, but I see that even before the industry type specification to, with executive teams, get into what are the business outcomes that are being pursued and actually start a line of business, Harp. And when we're actually seeing that, customers, if they're smart, are using the existing metrics that they have in the business to assess that project, and they're getting ROIs from anything from 4 months to 9 months, whereas I would offer that I suspect most of us have been around a couple of decades with these things. IT projects don't return economics in those kind of timeframes. So as we partner up with those sales connections, let's have an opinion on a customer level, which is the line of business that we think we can have the best impact, and actually take our programs and our alignment to them in that way, very much with a listening orientation to what they're trying to achieve.
Well said. Jose, as we think about the pace of AI and the innovation, security's never been such a hot topic for companies of all sizes. You get a chance to see the breadth and depth of our offering, the go-to-market, the opportunities, what the market is demanding of us. Do you want to give us some thoughts and perspective around our security opportunity in the market?
For sure. First of all, our desire is that all of you can develop a security practice with the Microsoft technology. Security is the #1 priority of the company, full stop. So we do have, whether you're a direct partner, and I have some spotlights here, but I can see a team from Covenant, one of our MSP or whether you're working with Pax8 or other amazing frontier distributors that we have, is how we develop that capability together. Second thing is that SMB is not a monolith. We have really large customers that are simply unmanaged. Those large customers are usually in the hundreds or thousands of employees. So we basically position the value of our enterprise suites there. So the biggest motion that we have there is trying to drive all the benefits and value that we have in compliance and advanced security with the E5 suite to try to get them to upsell. And we've seen amazing success into having those conversations. When you think of the customers, and as you know, our Microsoft 365 Business Premium is our hero offering. It has so much value that sometimes the customers and our partners are not aware. But in that space is where we think about 300 users and below. This year, and Erwin covered it quickly because he was rushing through a lot of content, but one of the most important investments that we've done is bringing advanced security offers at the right price point for SMB. Mm-hmm. So for $10, you have the Defender Suite for Business Premium. And for another $10, you can also get the Preview Suite, which is for compliance and data management. And for $15, you can actually get both. So this is targeted to the millions of seats that we have in an installed base of M365, where that need is there. So the biggest insight and where we're seeing a lot of success is customers really want those advanced capabilities, especially on compliance, because they need to be ready on how they're managing the data to embrace AI. But we somehow neglected some of those advanced capabilities unless you were in a higher enterprise queue. Now we have them. So I think that is probably the biggest opportunity that we see for everyone in the room, whether you're serving a larger customer that is unmanaged or a smaller one, by bringing this value because customers really need it and everyone is ready to embrace AI.
Couldn't agree more, Jose. This room is full of some incredible partners. I see many in the room that have both inspired us to evolve and change. But you also get asked very often advice that you may have, seeing sort of how you influence both the posture of the company, but also partnering with Microsoft. And so maybe I'll ask both of you to share some thoughts with our broader team here on some maybe best practices or some advice on how to best partner with Microsoft and go to market together. Maybe Jose, I'll start with you. Yeah,
well, I'll keep it short because I know we need to wrap. So for me, the biggest announcement and the most excitement that I have today was not Agent 365. We love that for the agents. No, it was actually the SMB Copilot business, which is amazing now at a $21 price point. And also that bundle with our premium and standard and essential security suites across the board. So this is the moment, and we're in an inflection point to win the race of AI, and we're counting on you. So I think that I would start by embracing it yourself, going after that opportunity. We have all scenarios of people that are not premium or premium. The reality is that they are bringing AI to work. That's what our research is showing us. But they're exposing vulnerabilities because there's no security and compliance. So now we can bring them, whether it's through chat that is included in Business Premium or the Copilot for Business, just go out there, and that will be the #1 rally cry for this session as you walk out of the door. Just if you miss the announcement, go read it in the partner blog and just help us deliver this value to our customers.
Love it.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, it's clear to, I think, everybody that the pie is getting bigger, the TAMs and the opportunities for that. And I spoke a little bit about intentionality with customers and line of business. The go-to-market engine at Microsoft absolutely needs that intentionality, and you understanding certain we think they're very basic aspects of us. It's just critical, team. I mean, if you don't understand and your sellers don't understand the 5 phases that sit within our MSEM go-to-market framework, you're going to spend 3 meetings trying to just get to basic understanding of where we are in a sales cycle. It genuinely is a beautiful thing. Spend the time with your salespeople to understand it, and you will move faster with us. And then I think just finally, have the confidence in your own practices and services with the CSP platform that we have, and bring that intentionality and your value to that Microsoft sales force. And I think you will do very well. I met a partner 2 weeks ago who made a conscious decision to shift into the agent space in AI a year ago. They've been consulting with our teams into customers, and now 70% of their revenue is directly attributable to that investment. Then within 12 months, that's amazing. I've never heard anything even close to that of a medium-sized, well-recognized brand in the marketplace. So my appeal and ask, and we're here to support you as part of that, it truly is intentionality. There's enough business for all of us here.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And just maybe a double click on connecting two discussions that we just had. Erwin talked about the agility that he's never yet seen before. I can tell you, I see these two leaders in the hallways of Microsoft, often defining and inspiring the changes you just saw. That SKU was in a meeting I remember with Jose talking about what he heard from each of you in the room about the opportunity to serve our customers better. And what that to me is a great evidence point of the flywheel of your voice in our connected aspiration. We genuinely do mean that we want to make this world and this room smaller. If I just may double click before passing it off to Erwin, there is really one common thread in the Americas that we want to bring to life, and that is the partnership promise. That means to us that we will be there with you to transform your partner, build your practice, scale and invest, enable and scale your teams, your ecosystem side by side. We will go to market with you, hopefully simplify some of the programs and acronyms, invest with you, co-sell with you at scale, learn with you, and drive that flywheel of agility, because we do have a collective responsibility to that breadth of the customers that we all service. And so just a huge thank you to you. Huge thank you, Jose and Alistair, for your time today. And with that, I'll pass it back to Erwin to close us off.
Good. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Hey, our promise is to get you out of here in time and not make you late for the next meeting. So just kind of summarizing what you have heard over the last 45 minutes. We always talk about for our partners the opportunity to be customer one yourself, like leveraging AI internally and then also building practices with AI. And Brian mentioned that greatly in his session, is that if it's very hard for any seller to sell AI if you're not using it on a daily basis. So we clearly encourage, we think this kind of innovation and this mindset needs to start with our partners and then goes to our customers, hopefully very quickly. The second one is like build and your expertise and capability. And there's all the skilling that we have available for you, but also your opportunity to differentiate yourself with destinations and specializations. And last but not least, and we just heard it from Jose and Alistair, the opportunity to really partner with Microsoft around opportunities, make it real, as Fede mentioned, around opportunities and co-sell. Because we're Microsoft in SMEC is 100% partner-led. So we are looking to work with you, to sell with you, and make sure that you grow your business and be very successful. I'm going to quickly skip this slide. There's a number of resources. I'm not skipping it. So okay. I'm still around getting ready, growing your business, and stay informed. I'll let you make a quick picture, and then I'll move on. Because the last announcement here, and I'm excited, is that if you were not aware, we have a party tonight, or a partner celebration, 8 to 10 in the Mint here in San Francisco. If you are not aware, we like to welcome you. So please come later today, 8 to 10 to the Mint. The SMEC team will be there. We have a couple of other people from Microsoft will be there. So great opportunity to connect between peers or to connect as partners with Microsoft. So thank you again for being here, taking the time to spend 45 minutes with us. And hey, have a great coming days on Ignite. Thank you.